Welcome to the Hoops Culture Podcast, where we talk about all things basketball. We're back for episode 21, being more consistent, the consistent hoops. So yeah, we're back. Um, Today's gonna be a pretty fun episode. If you saw my Instagram story, you would have saw that I said that there was gonna be a big surprise, and yeah, there is a surprise, and that surprise is we're not only gonna talk about basketball now. It is going to be called Hoops Culture, yes, because it's mainly basketball, but when it's a hot topic, we will talk about other things besides basketball, like football, soccer, baseball, hockey, boxing, MMA, and yeah, it's going to be fun. I really can't wait to do it, and we're going to start today. But first, I want to start with the NBA topic, which we are going to talk about who really is top five in the NBA, like top five best. And honestly, this year, it's not so easy to say. It's a lot harder than it used to be, to where like you before, like maybe 2 3 years ago, you could kind of say the top five off your head. Now, like in the league as of right now, it's really hard to say because there's a lot of great players who are playing great. Um, you know, you obviously have to factor in team performance as well, how they play when you're on the court. Um, like besides like like how they not play, like how they play when you're not on the court. And to where besides where you when you do play, I mean, there's a lot of guys. Some guys definitely have jumped up the rankings for sure. And yeah, I want to go down my top five list. It might be a little controversial because I do have a couple guys who I believe are the best. And this year, I'm saying based off of this year. So before anybody gets mad, it's not all time or like the past 5 years. It is this year. And yeah, it's gonna be it's just based off of the play, so nobody gets upset and anything like that. So without further ado, let's get started. And my number five player is someone who consistently just has been a great player so far. In his career, kind of dropped down a bit. At one point, for a long time, he was considered the best player in the world, and he's close. I mean, he's top five, but I don't think he's the best player in the world anymore. Even though he's a phenomenal player, that's not saying he's trash like how some people think. But no, he's one of the best players in the world, and that player is Mr. LeBron James. Yeah, LeBron James is one of the best players in the league. And he's top five. And he dropped down a little bit, yes. He dropped down a little bit. And it's not hating him. It's not hating him at all. He's playing amazing. He's really good. It's just, I feel his play is not the same as it used to be. His efficiency kind of has dropped down. We see him taking a lot more jump shots than usual. Even though he has played great, he just, and the injuries are piling up. We could kind of see it. I mean, he's averaging 26, 5, and 7, and 2 steals a game, which is insane. 48 from the field, 34 from three. I mean, it's a classic LeBron James year. Obviously, his Lakers are not very good at the moment, um, which I don't think is entirely his fault, but it is some of his fault because you see the effort he puts in sometimes just this like I don't really see nothing like like I don't see some effort sometimes. Like he seems a bit lazy or just really just does not put any effort. Like in my opinion, sometimes he just looks sluggish or just does not care. He puts effort when he wants to put effort. That's been LeBron James for a couple of years. But yeah, he's at my number 5 spot. My number 4 is the league's MVP from last year. Yes, I have him at higher than LeBron James this year. He has missed 4 games straight lately, but I think he's a top 4 player in the league at number 4, and that is Nikola Yokic. Nikola Jokic is still a beast. He's scoring at a high rate, top tier efficiency, 59% from the field, 41% from three, which is the best he's ever shot in his career. 14 rebounds, which is the best he's ever had in his career. 6 assists, not too bad. A steal and a blocker game. You could kind of see he's been improving every single year, which is amazing. You see that his defense is actually becoming reliable for once, which is a shocker because, I mean, his defense was really bad at a point, but you could see that his defense in the interior is getting a lot better than what it was. His 3-point shot is getting better, and he's becoming a really good leader. With Michael Porter Jr. gone, it's going to be a little tough to kind of keep up the wins, but his statistics are going to go up like crazy. Jamal Murray will hopefully be back around playoff time, so they can make a big run. I could see them being possible sellers or buyers in the trade deadline, trying to get someone to fit with them, and yeah, I think he's number 4 on my list. So yeah, Nikola Jokic at 4. You could call me crazy, but hey, it's in my opinion, and just because it's someone's opinion doesn't mean it's wrong. But let's go on to number 3. Number 3 is a 2-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year. He is a Milwaukee Buck from Greece, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Man, Giannis is just I love Giannis. Like I don't think there's any way you could hate Giannis. Giannis is such a lovable dude. Like when he was talking about the Oreos, that had me cracking up, like actually cracking up. But man, he's been on a tear. He's been playing great. Um, Obviously, you see a lot of his team is out, and it's not really that's out of his control. So the Bucks don't look as good as they really are right now because of injuries. But he showed how much he really does care about improving as a basketball player because we could see that his jumper is getting better. Like especially in the mid range, he's shooting more pull up shots that are going in. Obviously, the three is going to take some time. I think by next year he could be a 30% 3-point shooter. Right now he's at 27. If he gets to 30%, where people actually have to like respect that three, that's really scary for the league. Um, Obviously, he's insanely athletic. He's going up the court, scoring at will, very dominant. One of the most dominant players I've ever seen play basketball ever. Um, just the way he scores in the paint, and like, I mean, it translated to a championship. They said if your best player can't shoot the three, he can't be a champion. He didn't really shoot the three awfully well, but he's a champion as the best player. So yeah, Giannis is my third best player in the league. Next, number 2. So been a good player, always been in LeBron James, kind of not so shadow, but just that number 2 all the time. And former OKC Thunder player, former Golden State Warrior, and now Brooklyn Net, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers I've ever seen. Probably the best, a top 2 scorer I've ever seen in my life. Him and Kobe Bryant, top 2. the way he just scores the ball is so effortless. Um, he doesn't get tired. He doesn't get fatigued. He shoots at a very high clip and shoots 55% from the field and 41 from 3. And he's not only just there for scoring. The guy could push up the floor, dish it out a little bit, make plays. He doesn't just stand there wait for the ball. He moves around. He could shoot off the ball, take the ball, dribble, shoot the shot. I mean, the man's an insane offensive player. His defense has looked pretty good this year. Obviously, the Brooklyn Nets are still a great team. James Harden's having a little bit of a struggle. He's someone I think with his play, if his play was like last year, he'd be top five as well. But you kind of see his play decline because of the rules, and it's hard to adjust like your entire game. He's had a really really hard time adjusting. But yeah, Kevin Durant's been doing just fine, bringing Brooklyn to wins, and man, he's my number two best player in the league. Lastly, this man is a former unanimous MVP. He's a two-time MVP. The greatest shooter of all time. Yes, you heard that right. He's the greatest shooter of all time. He's the best player in the NBA right now. Keyword right now. Wardell Stephen Curry. Oh my God, Curry has been on a tear. On a tear. I believe Golden State has the best record in the league right now, and it comes from him. He's having an incredible season. Man, like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like him sometimes. At the point guard position, who have we seen like this? It's so incredible what he's done, and he's really putting that team together, and they're winning. They're winning games. They're the best team in the league, and they're my picks to go to the finals out of the West. They're a great team. He brings everybody together. The tough shots he could hit. He man, he is a tough player too. He's not soft. He'll go in for contact. I mean, his last game was incredible against the Clippers. 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 steals. Absolutely insane. His defense is getting better. Guy could score at will, doesn't get tired. I mean, man, it is damn near impossible to replicate what this man does on the court. It's so tough, but hey, that's Steph Curry for you. But yeah, that is my top 5 players in the league right now. Um it's subject to change. I will do one around um December time, like end of December. As I'm doing it now, I'll do it a monthly thing to where we kind of update. It's like a little power rankings thing, and yeah, I think it'll be something that people enjoy. But as of right now, the power rankings, those are my guys. Those are my guys that are the best at the power rankings. So yeah, done with the NBA talk. Now we're gonna move on to this Saturday. There's a great boxing match. Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr. Teofimo Lopez he's a young upcoming boxer, but he's a champion. Beat Vasily Lomachenko in a great fight last year. Um, I mean, it was a hard fought victory. I believe if Lomachenko actually wanted to throw punches in the first few rounds, he would have won the fight. But Teofimo won that fight fair and square. Great plan. And he kind of changed. His demeanor changed, in my opinion. I think he kind of got a little too cocky and really thought he was like the man. He thought he really was the man. And I mean, you got other guys in that division. Gervonta Davis, one of my top 3 favorite boxer right now. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Jojo Diaz, Rolly Romero, obviously the Lomachenko, and I mean, it's been very very competitive division where they just happen to not want to fight each other for some reason. They act like they want to fight each other, but they don't. Whatever. So Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos with Eddie Hearn, and um, what happens is that George Kambosos is a plus 800 underdog, and that's kind of like where that thing where it's like champions gets guys that they're supposed to beat. George Kambosos came out and looked incredible, incredible. He knocked Teofimo down in the first round, lost the first two in my opinion, but then just just class, just was so much more faster than him. Got to him faster, made Teofimo kind of take away, like get out of his game plan and just start throwing shots. And it just it kind of looked awkward and made Teofimo look look like an amateur. Honestly, George Kambosos put in a great plan, and he beat him at the end. Split decision, which I didn't think it should have been a split decision at all. It should have been unanimous. 100% should have been unanimous. But it's boxing. What are you gonna do? Boxing is always like that. You have those type of decisions that make no sense. But yeah, what I think Teofimo needs to do is get away from your dad. Get away from your dad. Your dad was not helping you, telling you were winning the entire fight, and then you still thought you won the fight afterwards. Like, no, it wasn't even close. Like, your dad was telling you were winning the fight. You're winning the fight in the corner. Like, no, you weren't winning the fight. Not at one point you were winning the fight. Besides round 2 and 3 when you were up 2-1. That's it. That's it. And like, you can't be like you can't be Hollywood. You can't act cocky because anybody could take that belt from you, like George Kambosos did. So yeah, I mean that like obviously he's not gonna take my advice. Why would he care? Like I can't even throw a punch, but like it's just you gotta really get back to that wanting it like me like mentality. You really want it because now the other lightweight contenders are laughing at you because a lot of them said that this is light work for you. Gervonta said that's light work for you. Devin Haney said that's light work for you. You should beat him. And those are guys that wanted to fight you. I guess wanted to fight you. But yeah, that's what that's what was going to happen, and it didn't happen. George Kambosos is the guy to beat right now. He has all the belts. I don't think they'll rematch. I would honestly love to see Ryan Garcia versus George Kambosos, but I don't think Ryan Garcia's in any like position to get that fight, especially with all the pullouts. He's not gonna get a championship fight. Like that's just like a fantasy matchup I would like to see because they're both very very quick. I'd say if Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis beats Cruz and Devin Haney beats Jojo Diaz, I think you do Devin Haney and Gervonta for their belts, and then winner fights Kambosos to get all the belts, and I guess you do Teofimo versus Garcia, unless Teofimo moves up to fight to try to get that Josh Taylor's belt. I mean, it's very, very interesting in boxing. It's just, these guys, the promoters don't want to put these guys to fight, or the guys just don't fight. It just never happens. It'll happen when they're like out of their prime. So, yeah, that's one thing I got. Last but not least, I want to get into football. Football has been great this year. Football has been so entertaining. I love it this year. It's probably been the most competitive year out of any. We've seen really close games, no clear number one team in each division. But today, with the help of the NFL playoff machine on ESPN, I have simulated the other weeks, and I will tell you who I think will make the playoffs, and what the outcome would be. So let's get it on, and it'll be just the wild card games and the first round buys, and we'll like match up everybody from there. So we got in the AFC, I believe the 7th seed will be the Cincinnati Bengals, and they will have a 10-7 record. Joe Burrow showed that he's a great player. Jamar Chase has proved a lot of the doubters wrong. just showing that he's actually a good NFL player, and he's one of the best. Had one of the best rookie seasons so far. Um, Sixth seed, I would have the Indianapolis Colts. They really turned it around so far. Jonathan Taylor is one of the best backs in the league. Um, he's been incredible for them. You got Carson Wentz, who's playing a lot better. Michael Pittman, who looks great. That defense, with Darius Leonard. Man in the front. Oh, my God. Darius Leonard's an animal. Bro, that man is an animal. Next, the fifth seed. I hate to say it because they rule my division every single year because I'm a Jets fan. The New England Patriots will be the fifth seed, 11-6. Belichick has proved that he could win without Brady. They've been doing great so far. I have them going 11-6. Mac Jones has looked great. He was kind of more of like a check down guy, a game manager, but now he's starting to really air it out a little bit. So that's been amazing. Their defense has been solid. New England's defense has always been really good. Um, you know, so yeah, good job for New England. They got their guy, they got their franchise guy, and I don't think he'll be any bad in the coming years. I think they'll be great. The fourth seed going against the New England Patriots, I have the Kansas City Chiefs, who started really rough in the beginning. They kind of started to pick it up as of late. Um, Patrick Mahomes is playing a little better. Got Tyreek Hill. Um, it was kind of dropping a lot of passes as of late, but you know, just the team as a whole has really come together, and they're not the same team than they were in 2019, 2020. They're not at all, but they're still a competitive team that could win games. Next, the third seed, kind of an underwhelming team because in the beginning of the season I had them as the first seed. The Buffalo Bills, a really underwhelming team. They're not the same team they were last year at all either. You could kind of see that Josh Allen is not overrated, but he has only beaten a little lower tier teams, in my opinion. He's still a great quarterback. He'll be fine. Probably just having a slump. Stephon Diggs is not having like the year he was having last year. That defense is still looking pretty good. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Buffalo. Next, the second seed, I got the Baltimore Ravens with the 12-5 record. Lamar Jackson, despite his stats, has looked pretty good, but he just cannot manage the ball. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions this year. I believe has 15 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Um, I think they'll still pick it up. I think Lamar will finish off the season strong, and yeah, they'll be a good team. And the first seed, I got the Tennessee Titans. They have been a pretty good team, a really really good team. Derrick Henry's I think projected to come back week 17, so that'll be perfect for them. And if you get the first round bye, he gets more rested and ready for their first playoff game, and they'll be perfect. I don't know if they'll go to the Super Bowl, but having Derrick Henry there is like a must. It's a must. Next, moving on to the NFC, the seventh seed, I got the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins is one of the weirdest quarterbacks ever. Really, he's been one of the weirdest quarterbacks ever. He's either really, really good or really, really bad and awkward on the field. But he's shown half he's really good or half he's really bad. He decides when to turn it on and turn it off. Justin Jefferson has been an amazing wide receiver, one of the best in the league. And yeah, they're a team that's either good one year or bad one year, and I think they'll make the playoffs this year. The sixth seed, I have the San Francisco 49ers making it. I have three NFC. Why am I blanking? NFC West teams, right? NFC West? Yeah. Oh my God. I got to fact check myself because I don't want to get that wrong. NFC West? Come on. I have to be right. Okay, thank God. Thank God. Yeah, NFC West teams in the playoffs. I got the Arizona Cardinals, At the fifth seed, I got the Dallas Cowboys. At the fourth seed, how about them Cowboys? You know the memes. I think they're a good team this year. Kind of slowing it down a bit, but they'll be a good team in the playoffs. I got Tampa Bay at three. Tom Brady, you know how Tom Brady is. You know he's great. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, it's a good squad. Los Angeles Rams, I got them at the second seed. Matthew Stafford has been pretty good for them, better than Jared Goff was. And you got uh why am I blanking? Aaron Donald, sorry. Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on defense. That is just killer. It's honestly unfair. And the first seed, I got the Green Bay Packers. They're an amazing team. Aaron Rodgers, despite all the controversies, one of the best quarterbacks in the game. So yeah, I mean, you can't doubt any of these teams. I'll actually say one bold take that I think Rodgers is actually going to stay stay his entire career in Green Bay and probably retire after next year. That's one thing. I don't think Rodgers is going to leave. I think he'll definitely leave after next year and give the keys to Jordan Love. Yeah, honestly, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.